You are listening to the Happy Healthy Leadership Podcast with Kathy Williams. Here you will learn to be physically, mentally, and emotionally fit. The focus is not just being healthy by the doctor's standards, but being the best version of yourself you can be, empowering you to be a great leader for your family and your team.
Welcome to episode 5 of Happy Healthy Leadership. I am Kathy Williams, and I'm excited to be back here today. I started recording podcasts back in June and had really good intentions of continuing to go through with podcasts on a regular basis. But then I let life get in the way. And at the same time, I realized how much value I wanted to give to you guys and make sure the value I was giving you was actually applicable to your life as a leader. And so I took a pause, rebranded myself to Happy Healthy Leadership. And I'm really excited about that because as I really think about a leader, there is a trifecta in your role. As a leader, you want to be, good at your job. You want to be a great leader for others. But you also want to have your own personal health. And then there's also the side that you want to be happy. You want to have this joy inside of you. And there's a lot of leaders that I talk to is that they don't know how to have all three things. So when I really thought about when I rebranded and what makes sense, that is why I have my Happy Healthy Leadership. Because I truly believe that you can have all three of those things. But it really takes that time of knowing yourself and figuring out what's the best for you. So moving in today's topic is really going to be about prioritizing your goals. Yesterday I was at it was a conference with a whole bunch of entrepreneurs, and they had a speaker come in and talk about wellness. And he did a great job giving so much information about, your physical fitness, about your nutrition, about all the technology that's out there to use when you work out and the importance of why you want to work out and heart rates and heart rate variables. But by the end of the time and the end of the session, when I talked to people about what they liked about it and how they felt, 90% of the people I talked to said they were overwhelmed and they don't even know where to start. And that is not uncommon for many people. And I look at, especially at leaders tend to have so many goals, not just for their professional lives of trying to advance their career, whether it's being an entrepreneur and advancing their business, or whether they're that manager trying to get to the next level. They also want to have, their own personal health. They also want to have that happiness and that joy or a stress-free life. And it can be really challenging and overwhelming. And I think a lot of people don't know where to start. And they keep running this rat race of doing. And they don't know where to start to find all three of that happy and healthy and that leadership, that trifecta I talked about. So being it's December right now when this is being released, people are planning for 2024. And you might be thinking of what is your intention for the year. I know a lot of people have set words. My intention for 2024 is follow through. I realized when I was working out the other day how many times I tell my kids that I'm going to do something, and I really am so faithful about following through. So if I say something, I really want to make sure that I follow through on that goal. But then I was thinking about my own life, about how I work out, and there's times I'll set a time or a slot to do something, and I don't follow through with myself how I follow through with my kids. And what's really sad about that is it's that my own self-love in that, my own self-confidence gets hurt when I can't follow through on the goals with myself. So as I look at 2024, you will really be seeing me follow through, which means I'm going to be recording podcasts. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go through the tough times and those uncomfortable moments, but I'm going to make sure it's a priority and I follow through with what I say I do. So for you, your 2024, maybe it's an intention of the year. But what you want to do, the very first step is I want you to take time before the new year to quiet your mind. Find a space where you're alone. Find something that you can write with, whether it's an electronic, whether it's an old school pad and paper. But write down your goals for the next year. What are you lacking in your life and what do you want to accomplish? Take the time, figure this out. If you need extra help, go back to my episode 2. It's about knowing knowing your desires, maybe get some inspiration. But remember, as you are a whole self, you might have some professional goals. You might have goals for your health, for your family. And I want you just to take the time when you first take that time by yourself, write it all down. Write down every goal you can think of. So the second step is going to be figuring out why is that goal important for you. The why, and knowing that why, that deep thing, that is what's going to drive you through those tough times and those tough mornings. And why does it matter? Not even just long term. So sometimes people set a goal for 12 months down of, say it's a weight loss goal. You want to lose 50 pounds. And in 50 pounds, but there's going to be incremental times throughout this next year where you might plateau off. And it's going to be challenging if you don't see continual progression day to day to day to day. So knowing that why can help you stay motivated in that short time when you're not seeing change. Now, as you're asking yourself why it's important to you, I want you to imagine that you're going to accomplish this goal and nobody else is going to change around you. People are going to talk to you the same. They're going to treat you the same. Nothing else. The only thing that matters is how you feel and how is your life going to be different outside of everybody else if you achieve that goal. And if you're thinking of the whys, and if it's something to do with impressing somebody else or to prove to somebody something, I'm going to challenge you to look inside and find what is that internal motivation for you. And it's a part of loving on yourself. It's a part of that self-confidence that you will also be starting to build as you know that internal why it is important for you. Yes, there's going to be things in there such as I want to be healthy so I can be around for my kids when they graduate or get married. But that is also, it's not the impressing your kids that you're worried about, knowing that's something that you want to be involved in. And so those goals are okay. So after you go through your goals, step 1 is knowing your goals. Remember, step 2, you know your why for every goal. Now what I want you to do is I want you to really take the time and pick out those 2 to 3 goals that are the most important for you and that have the biggest impact in your life. Now most people will pick different areas of their life, but maybe there's a couple little things within the same area within health or something else, and that's okay. But what I want you to do is really put those goals on top 2 or 3 things. Because what you might find is sometimes when you change one area of your life, it will start having a snowball effect on the other areas of your life. It's kind of use a philosophy of how you do one thing is how you do other things. So what I find even when I work with people and work with leaders is that they'll start working on maybe that exercise portion of their life. And they'll start really following through and dedicating the time to work out. And as they find that determination, other areas of their lives start improving because they're getting better in this one area. So what is that first area to work on that will be the most beneficial for you. Maybe that goal is also going to be, what is the most doable and accomplished? If you're somebody who is horrible at setting goals and you are not good at following through on yourself, you might start off with something very small and very doable to start building up your trust and your self-confidence. All right, so once you have those 2-3 goals written out, is you get to write down your actions. What are the actions are you going to take? When are you going to make these actions? How soon? How long is it going to take you? But really get detailed on those action steps, because that's how you can measure of, are you being successful or not being successful? You do have some long-term goals. Sometimes you can measure of, am I my way there? Am I, showing progress? But sometimes if your goals can be, they're a little bit more loose, the only thing you can measure against yourself is your actions. Once you have your actions written out, that's the time when we're going to start rechecking that. When I set goals, I really like using the SMART acronym. So specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and the time in there. So as we recheck it, is it specific? And can you measure this goal? As you set a guideline and a timeline of what you want to achieve and when you want to achieve it by, make sure you can measure and that you'll be able to check off saying, yes, I can do this, or no, I did not do this. What's also great about that time frame, and as this measuring process happens, is weight loss, for example. If you want to lose 20 pounds in 3 months, and in 90 days, if you've only lost 1 or 2 pounds, you can measure that, and you will know if you're achieving your goals. Let's say your goal is something more for work, though, and you can't necessarily control the outcome of other people saying yes for sales, for example. However, what you can do is you can start measuring your actions. You might make so many calls in a day. You might make 100 calls in a day, and you can measure if you were successful in following through on your actions to achieve your goals. Is it realistic? Some people will tell me that they're going to work out, I'm going to work out every day. It was what they'll say. And I'll go back and I'll challenge them. Does every day mean every weekday? Is that realistic? What's going to happen on the weekends? When are you going to do it in the daytime? So really challenge yourself to make sure that in your life, are you actually able to follow through without creating demands and stress in other areas of your life? Time, it's a deadline. You know what you need to accomplish by when. So that's a SMART acronym if you haven't heard that before in there. So as you recheck, you're really finding out, is this going to work for you or not? Once you've gotten that day down, I want you to pick what is the number one goal you are going to start with. So is it going to be you're starting in January 1st? Are you starting now? When's that starting date for you? Mark it in your calendars, put things down, find somebody to keep you accountable. Because once you put it out in the world, it's harder to back down. So put it out in the world. I encourage beyond your spouse, because your spouse really isn't going to hold you accountable too well. They're there to love you, not to hold you accountable in things. Once you have figured out your goals and you've prioritized what the most important 3 goals are for you, you get to pick your start date and start following through. Now, in this process, if you are still struggling, what I would love to do is for my community of people. So that is you, if you've listened to this, if you have friends and family that can benefit from this, is my Christmas gift to you is going to be a free 30-minute session of prioritizing your goals. There is no charge. Look at the link below and schedule your time. I am only going to be offering this from now through the end of January of 2024. So grab that spot if you need help prioritizing your goals. And this is free for anybody. How you're going to find it is go to happyhealthyleadership.com/2024. And those are numbers, so 2024. But I look forward to helping you. Write a comment below. What are the things that you are going to prioritize as your goals here in 2024? If there's anything I can do to help you find that happy, healthy version of yourself, please reach out. I look forward to talking to you next week.
If you liked what today's lesson was about, learn more by visiting happyhealthyleadership.com. There you can connect with Kathy and start your journey on becoming mentally fit, as well as improving your company's leadership.